when I talk about cloud, I always refer this image. So this is nothing but a cloud's image. But when you are talking cloud based on a computation or cloud computing, so cloud is nothing but if we are using someone else resources, like you can see cloud is someone else computer or someone else storage, or if you are using someone else services, then that is termed as a cloud. So if you look at the definition, uh, Wikipedia's definition, so Google computing is a on-demand availability. So it is on-demand availability of computer system resources, especially data storage, your cloud storage, and your computing power without a direct active management by the user. So this is a definition of cloud. So if you take a best example, like in our day-to-day life, we use our Google Drive. Google Drive can be termed as one of the storage which sits inside the cloud. So you can use Google Drive in many devices. You can use your Google Drive in your PC. At the same time, you can use in your mobile phone, in your tablet, anywhere. So this is how your cloud computing works. Your files are not in one system. Like if your files are in one traditional system, like this, for example, so your file sits here. So you have to like log into this machine only to access this. But instead of having that file in one machine or one system, if I store that file in the cloud somewhere else, like someone else machine or someone else storage account, so what I can do, I can access this file from this cloud to any of my devices. I can use my desktop, I can use my laptop, my mobile phone, any of this to access this file. So that becomes very easy for me. Not only you can take this example. Suppose if you have a huge amount of data, suppose if I'm talking about 2 TB, 3 TB data that may not fit in my machine, or that may not have that much storage to take into my traditional machine. So I may use a storage account to do that. And suppose if I want to process a huge amount of data, I want to do some computation on that. Your single traditional machine may not be suitable for doing those things. So you may have your compute resources in the cloud. So there are so many services we can use from the cloud. So I'll be showing you all that in this session. So when it comes to cloud providers, so the tech giants of the cloud providers are AWS, that is of my Amazon's obviously, and you have Microsoft Azure, and you have Google's Google Cloud Platform. So this is called Google Cloud Platform, GCP. Okay, and there are many other cloud providers also. So when it comes to public cloud, these are the three major and the uh, leaders of the cloud market. So when you talk about the cloud, so we call it a data center. So data centers look like this. If you want, just you can go to YouTube and surf more about how exactly the data centers look. So on every geographical locations, these companies have built up their data centers. So this is how your data center looks, where you store it. You can use these data centers for your storages, for your compute, for different services like analytical service, for your AI ML workloads, anything. You can call these all data centers like small machines, or you can call these all as a computers. Depending upon your application, you can use them. So in this session, we will like go through all about the cloud, how to open up set up a cloud account and also start using that. We will set up a storage account also. Okay, not to worry. So if you look at the market share, Amazon is leading the market in cloud with 34%, and second is Microsoft's Azure, which is in the next competition to AWS. So they are also having like rigorous marketing on this cloud Azure. Then next is Google Cloud, and then followed by all other clouds like Alibaba Cloud, IBM Cloud, Salesforce, Tencent Cloud, and Oracle. So if you look at the figures, like what surprised me, like in the last 12 months, like they have ended with $203.5 billion with the market size. So this is what the power of cloud is. So let us look at what are the services and the products what cloud providers provide us. So there are different services like compute, analytics, storage. Like everyone are familiar with storage. So we always think like cloud can give us only a storage. Not only storage, these are all the like services what cloud provides us. You can set up a database in your cloud. If you have any workload related to AI and ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning, you can like set up and services in your cloud by using these. You can set up a developer's tool. You can do integration, migration, and web applications also. So when you talk about types of clouds, so these are like classified in three types. One is public cloud, private cloud, and your hybrid. So your private cloud is your on premises. So it is uh, like it is your own private cloud. So there is no access for others. Like if there is one organization and they don't want like others to store their data in their data centers, so it becomes a private cloud. So when it comes to public, for example, your Microsoft or AWS, that is your public cloud. Anyone can use their cloud, and they have a different subscription for that. They can charge you based on how much you have used. That is called as pay as you go model. So you just pay like a rental, like how much you have used. Based on that, they will charge you. So hybrid is both. You can use public as well as private. You can see the difference here. Then when it comes to the models, actually there are three different models here. So first is infrastructure as a service. It is called IaaS, infrastructure as a service. And the second is platform as a service. And the third is software as a service. That is called as SaaS, SaaS also, software as a service. So to understand what is the difference between infrastructure as a service, software as a service, and platform as a service, I'll just give you a simple example. Like if you are talking about virtual machines, so if you want to set up your own virtual machine in the cloud, that can be considered as an infrastructure as a service. And if you are setting up a suppose SQL database on cloud, that can be an example of platform as a service. And if you consider any softwares like your Gmail, like your Office 365 softwares, which is used for the end users, that is like specially used for the end users, then we call it as a software as a service. And for platform as a service, like software developers need platform as a service, and the network architecture and IT administrators will look into infrastructure as a service. So let us jump on to like Azure cloud and see set up an account there. So let me go to Azure portal, or let me just type Azure first and show you how the website looks like. So you can see Microsoft's Azure Cloud Computing Service. So if you just scroll down and check what other popular services or products they are giving. Okay, so you can see here like what are the different like categories and what are the different services the cloud providers. I have like in my PPT I've showed you only few of them, but you can do a lot of things here. Like you can use the cloud for AI ML, for analytics, for compute, containers, databases, developers tool, for DevOps, and for hybrid multi-cloud, for storage, media, internet of things, integration, identity. And there are so many services and products these like cloud providers offer. Now we are into Azure, Microsoft's Azure. So you can see these are the services. If you compare that with to AWS also, there are like similar services and products, but the name is different there. Okay, suppose let me go to the analytics one, analytics. So where we will be using many of these services in our data engineering or big data workload. So we will be using data factory. So data factory is nothing but an ETL tool, or you can call it as a data integration tool. We generally use data factory, you can call it as no code or a low code tool to extract the load from different sources. We transform it and then we load it into a target. We will be talking about that in detail. We will be using Azure Data Factory, we'll be using a data explorer, we'll be using a storage account like Azure Data Lake Storage, and we will be using our Apache Sparks like based analytics, Azure Databricks, and Azure Snaps Analytics also. So these are all analytics tools and services we'll be using when it comes to big data and data engineering. So if you check on what are the services or uh, products available in compute category. So in compute, there are different categories, but we will be focusing mainly on virtual machines. So virtual machines are like you can set up a entire machine inside a cloud that you can choose what resources you want. Resources can be how much storage you want, and you can choose your operating system also. Like you want a Windows operating system, you want a Linux, or you want a Mac OS, whatever. You can choose your own operating system. You can choose your storage, RAM, everything. So that comes under compute. So when you are setting up a virtual machine in a cloud, that example is of infrastructure as a service. So you can talk about databases. Suppose you want to set up a database in the cloud, so you can go for Azure SQL database or Azure SQL, or you can set up a SQL server on the virtual machine. So these examples, not virtual machine. When you take these examples can be considered as a platform as a service. So you can set up a entire database in your cloud. Okay, not only database. So when it comes to, yeah, we will be using a SQL database. Sometimes if you are having a NoSQL data, then we use Azure Cosmos DB and uh, Azure database for MySQL also. Then if we have talk about storage, so if you want to store a huge amount of data, if you want to store raw data, structured, semi-structured, unstructured data, we will be going for data lake. So data lake are nothing but you can store massively huge amount of data with very cheap cost. So we are using data lake most of the time. We'll be seeing what blob storage is in storage. So there are some services you can see that are repeated in storage also, and those are repeated in the analytics category also. Yeah, so this was all the basic of what your Azure, Microsoft Azure looks like. So let me just go on to sign up here. So you can get an option here, like you can create a free account here. So once you click on this free account, so you can see that you get like most of the popular services for free for 12 months, and there are 40 services that is absolutely free always. So you can just see what are the different services they are providing us, what are the different services which are providing for 12 months. You can see these are free for 12 months, these are free always. Okay, popular one, but you can go deep dive into that and check. So uh, here you can start with Azure for free. When you are setting up a account for the first time, they will give you a 200 USD credits. That comes around approximately 13,700 or 800. So you can set up an account for free with these credits. So these credits are valid, or it has a validity of 30 days only. So you can use those credits in 30 days. If you are not using it, these credits will be like vanished. You will get a zero, like all your credits will be zero. So it is recommended that uh, like first learn and try to understand everything of the cloud, and then go and open your account so that you can apply hands on whatever you have studied. But what if all my credits are over, and in what if I want to do some access after 30 days? Then after 30 days your account will be switched to pay as you go model. So once you complete your 13,000, or once you complete your 30 days, whichever is first, you will be converted to pay as you go model. So whatever services you are using, according to that the pricing will be decided, and you have to pay that. Because when you are setting up the account for the first time, they will ask your all details about the debit card and credit card also. But not an issue. You can just like ignore that, and you can open a new account again with different email address. So this is one way. And the second way to set up an account is with your student's account. So if you have a student ID, like any college ID, for example, at the rate college.com, or any ID, you can set up your student account easily. So student account comes with they provide us with $100 free credits. So yeah, you can see that they'll give you a $100 credits with your free account, and there will be no credit card needed. So they will not ask you anything about the credit card, but we can do set up account with a debit card also, not an issue. And all the 12 months there are services which are free. You can use it for 12 months. So let me show you how you can sign in with this $200 credit. So for this you need a debit card or a credit card. If you are using a debit card, your bank should have a permission to access your online banking. Okay, definitely, otherwise you cannot get that. So you just click on start free. um, yeah, so you can click on use another account. I have different accounts. You can click on create new here, create new, then click on create new account, and it will ask you to give a details. So you can give your personal email address, then go next and set up a password. Next, give your full name, give your address, give your mobile number. You will get a verification on your mobile number, give a OTP, then verification on your email address. After 2 3 steps, it will ask you for your debit card or a credit card detail. So put a card number there, give a correct name, validity, and CVV number. Once you are done, you will be redirected to your account, bank account, and you will be debited 2 rupees for that. 2 rupees will be debited from your account. But after 24 hours, you will get back that 2 rupees. Not to worry about that. So uh, then there is some procedure you can follow up in this way. And once you set up an account, you can come to a portal.azure website, portal.azure.com, and click on enter. So once you enter it, it will ask you for your email address. So let you can pick up your email address. So this is the user interface you will get once you enter into your Microsoft Azure. So these are all, this is the page you look when you have entered into your Azure Databricks. I have my paid one, like pay as you go model because I have completed with my free trial. So now whatever services I am using, I'll be charged for that. Okay. So let me just show you. Once you click on like portal menu, these are all the services. You can just click on all services. You will be getting all that services just now we have seen, like based on uh, like general purpose, compute, networking, storage, web, mobile, AI, ML, Internet of Things, databases, security, storage, all those things. Okay, so you can see there are 18 services in general and compute 25. So if uh, like any of the person who is working on this Azure platform for maybe 2 3 years also, he may not know all the services because let me tell you my example. Like I have been working from last 1.5 year in data field, data engineering field or big data field. I am using a storage account. I am using few of the tools on analytics like data factory and Snaps Analytics Databricks. So not used to other tools here. Okay. So let me show you a simple way like how to set up an storage account. So let me come to home here. Here you can click and you may search your storage account from here, or you can, it will show you like what are the recent services you have used, or you can go and search for the Azure services here. So let me click on my storage account. I want to set up a storage account now. Click on storage account. Once you have clicked on storage account, there are no storage accounts in this. So you can just click on create storage account. Before that, you can just read out this statement. Create a storage account to store up to 500 TB of data in the cloud. So you can just imagine 500 TB of data you can store in cloud. So click on the storage account. Once you click on storage account, it will ask you for the subscription. So by default, I have only pay as you go subscription. If you have opened an account, you will get a free trial here and it will ask you for the resource group. So resource group is like a container or it's like a folder where you keep all your services or all your like storage account, Databricks account, all that into one resource. So let me create a new resource group like Azure uh, and click on OK. So a resource group Azure will be created and your storage account will be set up inside that resource group. It will then next is your instance detail. It is asking you to give a proper name. So this storage account name should be completely different or unique across all your data centers, all your storage account. Suppose if I write like ABC, it is saying that ABC is taken, already taken. So you have to take a storage account name that will be unique across all data centers. So there are some rules to give a name also. There it is like you should take only lowercase and numbers. You cannot take uppercase or any other character. It should be between 3 and 24 characters. So let me write uh, storage account demo and I'll write my name NLY 123. Okay, I guess this works. So storage account demo NLY 123. And the next step is to choose a region. So where you want to set up this. So I have shown you like there are different geographical locations. So if I show you in the next tab, geographical locations of Azure, let me check. Yeah, you can see that I actually wanted to show you the map. Yeah, I wanted to show you this. So these are the different locations or these are the different data centers where uh, Microsoft provide. So they have different data centers in India, in US, you can see in Europe and in London, UK, some data centers in China, in Japan, and so on. There are so many data centers. So I wish and I request you to please go to Google or YouTube and check more about the data centers. Okay. So let me come here. Now you can choose a region, like you can choose, by default it is showing the East US, but you can choose or you can pick any of the region where you want to store your data, uh, s- uh, where you want to set up your storage account. So let me pick East US only. Then it will ask you for the performance. So the by default performance is standard. Suppose if you feel that your data is like important and if you want to retrieve the data very quickly, you don't want any delay in that, then you can go to premium. So in premium, it is recommended for the scenarios that requires low latency. Low latency means there should be no delay or no delay. So if you want a quick retrieve from the data, then you can go to premium. If you click a premium, obviously the pricing will differ from standard and premium. Then next is redundancy. If you click on this, so redundancy, there are four types like locally redundant, geo redundant, zone redundant, and geo zone redundant. As the name itself indicates, you can see that when you are taking or setting up a storage account in the cloud or in the data center, so it will give you a basic protection against that server rack, just in case if that server or if that rack gets failed, you may not get your data back. It will not happen, 99% it will not happen, but there are some chances if there is some mishap happen, if there is any like you may lose a data here in locally redundant. So if you don't want that and if you want to create a copy, then you can come to geo redundant. So I can give you the example like geo redundant can uh, get a backup for your data that will be stored in different racks. When it comes to zone redundant, your backup will be available in different zones. Not only in East US, it can be in different zone. When you talk about geo zone, it will be combination of these two. You will get a backup obviously in the same data center with different racks. Also outside that, I mean outside the zone also your data is created. So let me pick locally redundant. My data is not that important. I don't want uh, like to retrieve it quickly also. So let me just go to, oh, I missed actually. Let me go back. So let me go back again. In basic, we have done all the things. Let me go to advanced. In advanced, let us just skip all this security part. Here you have one feature called data lake storage. So what is data lake? So before we go to data lake, we should understand what is database. So once you understand database, you can know what is data warehouse. So data warehouse is the like architecture where you store all your structured data, and you have lot of security for that, and the costing when you compare to other, it is very high. What if you have a semi-structured data, if you have a unstructured data, so you cannot store that into a data warehouse. So for that, you can store it as a data lake. It is an open source. It is free of cost. I mean, it is very cheap when it compares to data warehousing. So when you want to set up a data lake, like inside the storage account, you need to click on this enable hierarchical namespaces. Just in case if you have not provided this, you will end up getting a storage account, but that will be your blob storage. So there is a simple and small difference between your blob storage and your ADLS. So you can see blob storage and your data lake storage. If you want a data lake storage, you can tick, you can enable this, or if you want a blob storage, you can just ignore this and go proceed further. So what is difference here? In data lake storage, you get a hierarchical namespace. Hierarchical namespace is nothing like, if you go to any of your folder like this, suppose if I go to desktop and you get a path here, I'll go to desktop. Here you can see you get a path here. I can go back. This is all your hierarchical namespaces. So this is like a folder level, file level in data lake. If you are not enabling this, you end up getting a blob storage. That is the only difference. So let me tick enable this. I can see that I want the storage account with data lake storage. So I'll not do any changes in this network data protection encryption tags. Just let me click on review. Let me click on review. It takes some time to review. Once the review is done, you can click on create. So let me click on create. So now a deployment has been started. I will get a storage account on that particular data center. So this is my storage account name, SA demo NLY 123. So let me go to home tab and see what is happening here. So yeah, deployment is in progress. So you will be getting a deployment for your resource group as named Azure, and inside that resource group we will have one storage account with the name we have provided. Yeah guys, you can see that uh, deployment is succeeded. So you can just go to the resources or you can just refresh it. You will be getting a resource group here, like Azure resource group. Let me check. Oh, still it's not refreshed. Let me go to storage account. I will see that. Oh, it's not created yet. Yeah, once I refresh, you can see that I got a storage account here, that is SA storage account demo and all. So once I click there, I can go inside the storage account and you can see all the details, and your storage account has a hierarchical namespaces. That means a data lake storage. If you have not enabled that, you will be getting a blob storage here. That's the only difference. Let me click it again and then go to container. Let me, yeah. So if I go to container here, so inside a storage account, I am clicking on container. So I will create a new container. So container is like a folder. So let me click on a container called input container, input. So this also have some rules here. It does not accept a capital letter. It takes only a small letters here. So let me create. So I have created a container here. You can see. Now, if you click on this container, you can upload anything you want in this container. You can click just upload. You can put your raw file, you can put a structured file, semi-structured file, images, audio file, video files, whatever you want, you can put here. And I have shown you like the 500 TB of data can be stored in this. So just imagine how much uh, like huge data we are talking about. So let me upload one CSV file and just show you. Let me go to desktop and let me this is an Excel file. Let me take a CSV file and check, or a PNG file. Let me click on image and just click on upload. So I'm uploading an image. It's very simple, like just the way we do in our drive, Google Drive, in the same way. So you can just click here and click on view and edit. So you can see that there is one image like Tata Mutual Fund image. I can fetch that into my blob storage or your ADLS. If you want, you can just upload it. Upload one more CSV file. Let me show you if I want to upload a CSV file. There is some JSON file based on traffic. Let me check. I don't know what's there inside that traffic. So yeah, you can see you have loaded a JSON file also. Let me see whether I can edit or view that JSON file. Yeah, you can see that JSON file. This is all related to traffic data of JSON. So you can download it again, you can edit it, you can view it, whatever you want, you can do that. So this is how you can set up a storage account in the cloud. So now let me just delete it. I'll show you how to delete. Let me go back. So this is your storage account, and go inside the containers. Let me go inside the input container, and there are two files which are stored. Let me delete it. So this was just for a demo. Let me delete. Click on OK. So two files are deleted. Let me go back. Let me delete this container also. Click on yes. It will ask you whether you want to delete. Yes. Go back. And now I want to delete this storage account, entire storage account. That is only to show you a demo. So let me click on delete, and it will ask you whether you want to delete a storage account. So please type a name of that storage account, demo nly 123. Now I guess that is correct. You press on delete, and your validation will be successful, and it will like delete the storage account. Yeah, you can see that successfully deleted your storage account. So if you check your storage account, you may not find anything. So this is how a small demo to check or to create a storage account, and then we have deleted it. I hope you enjoyed it, guys.